Good evening. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah. Um, how have you guys been making out the last couple of weeks? We missed last week because of Thanksgiving.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Had a great week. What about you, Tiffany?
Uh, is it a such thing as a starter's block? I know right block was starter's block.
I know, I feel you. I just feel so a little bit out of place because South Carolina is a crazy regulated state. So, when I was starting this, I just thought it was just gonna be like a piece of cake, like something that I could run from home, get my home office set up and stuff like that. So I the whole fact of I actually need an office is kind of like throwing me off track. And I can't like just temporarily get that office just for like inspection purposes. I'll need that office because they come and audit us every year, right? And does that work that way as well in your state? Because over here, um, they come in every year to audit us. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Um, Here I believe that uh, with ours is if you're Medicare having to accept Medicare patients.
Correct.
So
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. My goal starting off, I'm gonna do the Medicare, and then as I'm progressing, I'm gonna do like some marketing and try and
so
get some private pay clients.
so you already did your Medicare application?
No, I'm in the process of I'm at the beginning stages. I'm in the process of doing all that
So
stuff.
you gotta find so I'm just trying to get clarification. You gotta find a place before you do all of that.
So I did go ahead and actually reach out to another young lady who has a home care business, and so she already has an office. And she said she has some space, like an empty room. So I'm just gonna kind of like piggyback and
That's super smart.
rent, and we'll share the rent because it was just so intimidating to me to like do that whole commitment of like renting a whole office space. It just threw me off because initially in the beginning I was like, I can run this whole business from home, but it's actually not like that. And South Carolina just has so many crazy regulations. You have to have an office. You have to visibly post your office hours outside your office, and they can pop in at any time. And if you say you're open Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, when they pop in, they expect somebody to be in there Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. So all these challenges are kind of like throwing me off a little bit because I thought this was going to be something one man show that I can, bring up from the ground. But there are so many regulations, but I'll overcome it. I just have to take it a step at a time. It's just throwing me back because I have a lot of space in my house. I have a beautiful home office, but so her office is already decked up. It's wheelchair accessible. She put in the rails in the bathroom. Um, so all I have to do is just rent the additional room in there, and then me and her will tag team and share the rent. So that's me.
That's awesome. I just went live a couple weeks ago, I think, and said It just said because I had joined a restaurant group or like a food group, and I never really saw the power of like having a team,
Mm.
and it made me think about all of these startups that I talked to.
Mm-hmm.
These lone wolves, these one man army startups all across the country, and then
Yeah.
it's a lot of them in the same state. And I went live and I said like, why don't we start thinking a little more about
Yeah.
coming together in the beginning? You know what I mean? Because it's hard to come together if you already established and this person hadn't done nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Mm.
but if we both just getting started, we both just at the LLC level, or that we just got licensed, or we just got like one or two clients. It's still a good opportunity. It might be still a good idea to like reach out to another startup who may be in the same place,
Mm.
but also we had the same kind of value system. Obviously, that's probably the most important thing. It's like the same type of value system, and you know, you guys had the same. You're in it for the same reasons for the most part. But yeah, that office thing, that's kind of like it's 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 consistent with that thinking because that's what comes from those kind of partnerships, the ability to leverage, you know, each other's um, opportunities and not have to go at it alone. The marketing dollars double, you know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's really awesome. And other
Yes.
than that, I know Tiffany says she has a question. We can get into it now if you want, Tiffany. Tiffany still on? Let me see.
I'm sorry, I was on mute talking.
No, you
Sorry
fine.
about that. But again, I am in Michigan, and I don't have to find a place. So I am working from home. So I've completed my Medicare 855, and I got it approved. I completed the home help Medicaid process,
Mhm.
and I got approved.
Nice.
Um, I'm just like I'm stuck. I feel like I've done a lot, but I don't know. And then the crazy part about it is I have people calling me and
Oh, that's
asking
nice.
me about services, but I don't have my prices together. I just don't know if I'm just like scared
Yeah,
to
you
get my
scared.
feet
That's
wet.
all that is. You scared.
I'm nervous as heck,
Yeah.
and it's just like I don't know what to like. I'm literally okay. So now it's like this pricing thing, and I told you that I didn't want to do per hour
Oh
type of thing.
God.
So I'm trying to be very unique, and I think I'm doing too much, literally. And it's like
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
need help.
Don't make it harder for yourself. And sometimes we make it harder for ourselves so we can have an excuse not to do some stuff. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like don't let your
Absolutely.
mind start playing tricks on you at this late point of the
Question,
process. You know what I mean? Don't
Tiffany,
let
have
you
you? Sorry, quick question, Tiffany. Have you created your little client packet?
Explain to me as far as the client packet. What do you mean?
Well, in my mind, um, just something that like when you go to meet your client for the first day, just something
Mm-hmm.
as kind of like your policies, your procedures, your care plan,
Well, I won't
your
have
little bitty
policies and
contract.
procedures for the clients.
I mean, my bad. Yeah. No, okay, policy and procedures are for you.
So,
Little packet
mm,
that has the care plan, what they can expect from you, what you can expect from
yeah,
them. Yes, a client consent,
yes.
something in
So
writing.
I
And
I have been doing this for the past year, and it's like
wow.
again, I feel like I'm ready. I just well to get back at I did this. This is the a la carte price, and I was trying to explain. I'll try
Mm-hmm.
to find the client forms in a minute, but
Okay.
I'm stuck with this. I'm really stuck with my pricing, and I want to be able to, like, for instance, my business name is Nurse at Home Health Care. So
Okay.
I have the patients that'll call. Like, some patients are coming from the rehab, and they're looking for a nurse that will be able to take care of the patient just had a surgery.
Okay.
I'm afraid to compete with the big home care agencies when it comes to that. Number one is because I don't know how to bill their insurance. That's a problem, is I don't know the insurance aspect. I know how to take care of the patients. I've been a nurse forever, but it's the money part of it that I don't
That's
know
the
what
most
I'm doing.
important part.
Right. And that's why I'm like, that's why I'm
No, that's
calling.
not the most important part. I'm just kidding.
It is real talk. It is.
I mean, that's the most important part to get you to tomorrow.
Right.
So so you talking about like private insurance or long-term care insurance?
Private pay, Medicare, Medicaid.
So when you billing them, you can Medicaid, that's its own thing. But when you're talking about private, I mean, like say for example, like long-term care insurance, they already have their system in place. You just got to communicate with them. They're gonna send you a questionnaire. They're gonna send you a questionnaire. If the client has the insurance, the client is gonna say to the insurer, this is the agency that I want to work with. The family is going to say, the client, the insurance company is going to say, give this to the, or give us their information, and they're going to contact you. They're going to call you and they're going to email you. They're going to email you some documents or like a list of things that they need from you, and they're gonna want some stuff from you. You send them that stuff, and then from that point on, it's the family's decision. It's not the insurance company's decision. The family can pick whoever they want,
Right.
with long-term care insurance because they paid into it. That's
Okay.
their money in there. They just telling you how they want to deploy it.
Right.
So,
Okay.
um, once the family chooses you, the insurance company has all your information. The next thing that happens is usually with the majority of the long-term care insurance. I love long-term care. Those long-term care is like has been sustaining my lifestyle for like years. The families they got long-term because they stay. The money never. It's like when you have Mass Mutual funding you, you don't. It never ends. So people just keep on. They just keep getting services. They just keep getting service. They keep getting service. So, um, I had one. I probably shouldn't say this. I had one client, just one, that's $10,000 a month, just one. But and the family doesn't feel it. You know what I mean? So it works. People say like, who can afford that? The family don't feel it. They're not pulling that out of their pocket. It's coming from Mass Mutual. It's coming and Mass Mutual hate it because they always give me a hard time. Oh, send this back, send this back. Don't do, you didn't make the invoice, didn't match the exact date of the care plan. You know what I mean? So they hate paying it out, but they got to. So usually what happens is the insurance company wants you to submit the care, not the care plan, but the care notes for the week and the invoice. That's all you sending. The notes that match the invoice. So the notes have to have the dates, right? That the invoice says that you were there, that your staff is there. You send that every week to to Mass Mutual or to the insurance company. And that company,
Uh-huh.
so what is kind of different, it varies different, from insurance company to insurance company. Some of them do reimbursement. It's 100% reimbursement. So the families do have to pay out of pocket, and then they get the money within like the next 60 days. But
Okay.
they don't care because they get the money in the next 60 days. So it's just like you pay the money and I'm getting it all back. It's like no, you get the exact what they spent. That's why you want to all. That's why we focus on long-term care insurance. That's what we focus on the upper middle class communities because they're the only ones that got long-term care insurance. That's just what it is. You know, that's
I
it.
was thinking that I had to
Huh?
look, I was thinking that I had to call these insurance and get approved and get on the list
And
to
that's all
take
stuff you
this.
just creating in your mind. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that. You just saying, you think that. The family that want to do business with you, they're gonna have the insurance. They know who they paying the insurance to.
Okay.
They're gonna have them, they're gonna say, call this person, this is my insurer, or
Okay.
the insurer is gonna say, what's the agency you're gonna work with? And then they're gonna give you a number, then you're gonna start getting email. And they're gonna send you this, the form, and then every year. So like because some of the companies, some of the clients that we didn't have them for years. And it's like
Mhm.
every year we gotta send get a nurse in to like update their care plan and anything that needs to be changed or have they declined or what is the new, what's going on with them and stuff like that. And that's it.
Okay.
We submit that to the insurance company like in February. Usually it's usually like February and March. It's over
Uh-huh.
with, and we riding for the rest of the month, the rest of the year. So that's it. Hold on one second. I gotta do something right quick. Then we gonna get into the train.
No problem.
I was trying. Okay, so what you were asking me as far as a admission packet was like an admission packet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So the goal that I have vision in my head, I was gonna do everything on one day. Like the day that my nurse goes ahead and does the initial assessment and the care plan and everything, I was, gonna be there with her, to introduce myself again, to meet the client, and then I was just gonna do something very a nice folder that has a little brochure of my business and basically what the client can expect from us and what we can expect from them.
mhm.
And then I was also going to get them to sign, like a client consent, for the services that will be provided. Yeah, so I was just going to, create like a little.
Oh, you have to have a folder. I mean, what are you walking in there with?
And
Right.
Yeah, you have to have a folder. So you put your folder together. I don't know. I guess I kind of breeze over things because I feel like I don't know, and it may be just me because all that stuff in the business in the box, correct?
Yep.
So you have everything. It's just a matter of putting your logo on it, putting your company name on there, putting the folder together, submitting it, presenting it, and doing these sit downs, doing these consultations. Um, I don't even really know what y'all were talking about, but yeah.
No, we're just talking about our presentation, how we're going to present ourselves. No, we're just talking.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And then that's where you could have your rates as well, if you
See,
oh
wanted
yeah,
to.
definitely. But I know so I don't have like hard rates. I like to give people leeway. Like I know what I want. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
we have a range and rates are going up. And one thing I had to do, this is something I had to get out of my own way. I had to raise the rates. I was doing business and wasn't making no money just because I didn't want to have this conversation with the
I know.
people that have been with me for a long time. I didn't want to be the inflation guy. You know what I'm
That
saying?
is reality.
Oh, I
It's
know.
not like you're
I
telling them
know.
something that they don't know that and they don't see.
Oh yeah,
That's the
that's
hard
different.
part
Like if you
about it.
just sent this a company wide policy. No, this is a real thing all over the world, right?
That's the
So
hard part about it. So it's rough. Like you can see, guys, I'm not in scrubs. I'm not at work today.
Oh, congratulations. Are you taking it easy though,
Oh
right?
yeah, you are at home. Okay.
I'm at home. I'm at
Yeah,
home.
you
I'm
usually
traveling.
it usually look like you in the closet.
So the interesting thing is that, and it all brings us back to us as business owners, the reality of what's going on in America right now. So the hospital that I was working for, they were like, oh, we don't need any more travelers. We're gonna phase them out, because they cost so much money, yada yada yada. We're gonna lean on our permanent staff, da 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 da. We came into work one Monday morning and there was nothing done from the weekend. Can y'all believe the entire weekend shift quit? Like no 2 weeks notice, no nothing. They quit. And I think they must have gotten travel assignments or went somewhere but this is just the reality of what we're going through in America right now. People don't feel like they're obligated anymore to give you a 2 weeks notice. Our employees are not courteous anymore. And for me, it worked in my favor because I immediately emailed my recruiter and I was like, hey, they need people. So the hospital had no choice but to give me the numbers that I was talking about because so now I just work weekends because their weekend staff quit and
So you only work weekends?
yeah.
Oh, you could go crazy. So now what are you going? What's the plan? Tell me the
Work on
plan.
my business.
What does that look like?
Um, it
What
feels
does it
great.
look like? I didn't say what it feels like.
It looks weird because I'm not used to not being busy, but I had time this week to network and meet the young lady who I can share the office space with. I had enough time to read over the crazy policies and procedures for South Carolina. I had enough time to look at my DHEC inspections. I just have enough time now, and I'm like, this is so. But as a business owner, it's kind of hard because with the inflations, we have to start paying people their worth, and it all goes back to what we were talking about last week. Not everybody is your client. We have to um try be fair and give them our rates so we can be able to take care of our staff and pay them what they're worth. Otherwise, people will walk out.
Definitely.
So
Yeah, rates. That's my problem. I need help with these rates. I know with the insurance, the long term.
Have you tried calling around, like with your competitors, just randomly, just calling around?
$25 an hour.
Whew.
And some of them is saying, yeah, we can't come. We got to come in a minimum of 4 hours. So that's where I'm like on my block across the street from me is condos, but it's a lot of old elderly people. And I know I can just go over there and make some money.
I know.
The ambulance is like across the street every other day. So I know I could go over there and make some money, but it's like I wanted to do something a little different than hourly. And like if they needed a shower, a basic shower, $23 an hour. Or if I do a month.
I think you're gonna complicate it to the point where you're gonna just like not want to do it anymore.
So
You know
what's
what I
what
mean? I
what
think
should I
how about we start out with like the wheel, and then if we want to reinvent, then we reinvent later. But like let's start out with what we know works because it's proven, right? I didn't invent this stuff. I just went with what was working. You know what I
okay.
mean? Just added my sauce to it.
Okay.
So I want you because I want you to get started. It's no reason for you to be sitting out there and she got all these regulations and she trying to figure it out and you ain't got no regulations. Like zero regulations, but the regulations that's around your brain. That's the only you got the whole and I get it. I get it. I appreciate it because I at every level we have these issues I am working on a product. I'm working on a program for team. I see you. Give me a second. We about to get into this training. I'm working on a whole new thing. It's a equity fund. And do you know I have like when I research this stuff and like creating a fund of like an investment fund with like it's like it's a financial entity. And I have zero financial education as far as like the people who make these things are like MBAs out of MBAs or Wall Street guys. These are the people who attempt this stuff. But I just have so much audacity that I think that I can do anything. But when I jump out there and then when I get in the water, it's like, oh, I can't swim. But I'm already out here, and I feel like I jumped in, and it's gonna take just as much effort to me to swim back to where I started from or swim to the other side to the finish line. So I might as well. Then I'm already in it. Finish the swim. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot of fear and anxiety at every step of what we do. In anything in life and anything new that we do and meaningful. So do's and don'ts, look how I spelled that. It's like so many different uh, fears and anxieties and things like that that come into play, and our minds start doing things. We start like self-sabotaging, and we like start creating all these different weird things, and we start putting all these blocks in the way when it's like so simple, And I'm always trying to remove because first we have to remove the self the self-imposed hurdles, and because life going to put some real ones right there for you. You know what I mean? So like, why would we put these here when we know life got a whole bunch waiting for us, and then we'll beat ourselves up. You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with me? I'm crazy. What's the problem? Maybe I'm not built for this. Maybe I just need to stay as an employee. And that's not the case. It's just you just have to change your mindset. You have to change your environment. You have to change your perspective. You got to change the people you deal with. You got to change the conversation. You got to change the internal conversation that you're having with yourself. You got to read different books. Like these things are real. Like nobody's telling you to read books just because it sounds cool. These books change you. The two things that can change you. I did a post the other day. Two things is going to determine who you are in the next 5 years: the new people that you meet and the books that you read, for the most part, unless you go back to school. Right. So it's the new people that you meet and the books that you read are going to determine where you're going to the person you're going to become over the next year, the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. One book changes. Like if I read, like certain books have so much impact on me that sometimes I'll be like scared because it's like, wow, I'm gonna be like you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have too much power, so I gotta put this shit down because it's like I'll be like scared of who I'm becoming because it's just so amazing. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I'm gonna tell you this could be a thing. You feel like you're gonna leave people behind, and you're gonna leave people behind. It's gonna be family and friends who just don't get it anymore, and you have to be okay with the dynamics of those relationships changing. That doesn't mean you don't love them and you won't see them again. They just on different times. Y'all just do different things. Y'all careers look different. Your networks look different. But that doesn't mean you can't come around and still be a family member. But hopefully that was helpful. Mindset is very important. Y'all know that. Y'all know how I feel about it. And let me get to Fatima. I know she's chomping at the bit. Hey, Fatima.
How y'all doing? Fatima. How's everybody doing this evening?
Hey, Fatima.
Hi, every beautiful caregiver and business owner. How's everyone doing?
I'm fabulous, fabulous.
Okay, so I don't know. I came in a few minutes after the top of the hour because I was doing a juicing, a celery and parsley juicing. So health issues, just trying to get healthier, like intake, be more mindful of cleansing and keeping my body, and because they don't want us to be well, they want us to get sick. That's why they put us on all that medication. So I'm about to try to change that. for myself and my family members, or myself first. So what was the conversation about that?
We're going to get into the training now. So let's get into the training. We're going to be talking about caregiver retention.
Okay.
Last week we talked about recruitment. The first thing, the most important thing, even more important than money, people want to feel appreciated. And that's an action. That's intentional. You have to be intentional to make people feel appreciated. Like, people want to know that what they're doing matters. And we can't make them feel like they matter unless we make them feel like they matter. And remind them and let other people, and encourage other people, like other staff members, to encourage each other, the families to encourage the staff, that they're doing well. Like saying, hey, look, the client, hey, when we call and do our like quality assurance checks and just see how everything is going. How's Tracy doing? Oh, we love Tracy. Tracy's doing an excellent job. Have you told her? Have you told her? You know what I mean? She needs to hear that. You know what I mean? That reinforcement is important. And it's important from you, the client, the family member. It's important that they hear that from you. And that's something that that we feel like is very important, and we see the benefit of it. So, just finding different ways, meaningful ways to let them know that you appreciate them. Birthday cards, birthday calls, text messages throughout the week. Hey, how you doing? Checking on them. Not being too personal, but just checking in. You know what I mean? And with the mental health stuff and people losing family members with COVID and stuff, people are hurting in America, and it's probably all over the world. We just in a very, very we're just in a very, very difficult time in the world. So we have to like lean in on community and like support, and even more so now because of the condition of the things that we're all dealing with. So just imagine, I have a caregiver whose house burned down, like her apartment building burned down. She lost some loved ones during COVID. Inflation is raging, so we had to give her a raise. She takes public transportation to work. She lost her vehicle, but she's still kicking. How I have to figure out ways to show my appreciation for her, because no matter what, she out there. I do this pretty much from a cigar lounge or my house, or I go to the office when I want to. You know what I mean? So I can't deny her the appreciation that she deserves. You know what I mean? Like, I have to give her that, because I wouldn't be a human being. You know what I'm saying? To not recognize the effort and the work that she's putting in for this lady, for this family that's not her family, for this money that's not making her rich. It's just getting her through. You know what I mean? So when you empathize and kind of really understand who these people are, it makes it easy. It makes you a better listener. It makes you more creative in how you show appreciation. It makes you more creative on how you show that you care. And they have to know you care. Caregivers are the backbone. When I first got started, I used to feel like caregivers were a dime a dozen. That's just how I thought. You know what I mean? I just didn't have that level of appreciation for the human side of it. It was McDonald's to me. You know what I mean? That's how I viewed it, because I was in it for the money, just to be 100% honest with you. I felt like, oh snap, I figured out a way to get some money. You know what I mean? And it's a million caregivers, and then you start to realize that these are humans. They have lives. They have issues. They have problems, just like I do. Everybody does. And if we're going to be helpful and we're going to be in this industry, we got to take care of it. You got to care for the caregiver, because a broken caregiver is going to be horrible for the family. She's going to be, it's going to spill over. So thinking about that, that's why I wanted to spend a little extra time on that appreciation piece, because it's just important. that we think about that, especially in these days. Another thing, it's kind of getting on a more lighter note, is bonuses. They love bonuses, man, because and sometimes I like bonuses because we can't always give them a consistent raise. You know what I mean? You can't just add because that consistent raise is cutting into your it's cutting into your bottom line. But that bonus, it's like a one-time thing that you can kind of like squeeze in there. You know what I mean? I can squeeze in like a $150 bonus, but I can't raise your in your pay by $3. You know what I mean? I just can't afford it. It just doesn't work at that point. So, but I can give bonuses. I can give gift cards. I can give gas cards. I can give food cards. Like things like that you wouldn't think like a year or two ago, like before COVID, I wouldn't even think that somebody would even, I would think it would almost be like condescending to give somebody a grocery store gift card. Not today. Not today. People can't, people having struggling with food, are struggling getting food in their house. And that's a real thing. We work for low wage workers. You know what I mean? It's no matter what, I mean, that's the industry we in. They're low wage workers. So we have to figure out ways to make sure they're okay. And we got to provide resources for them. We have to go outside the box and say, hey, look, is everything okay? Do you have a turkey? Do you have a Thanksgiving dinner? Are you gonna be okay? Um, Stuff like that. You know what I mean? The food bank here, this, that. Maybe we can, get some food over there. That's what we doing here. That's how we gotta be looking at this stuff now. Continue education. Home Care Pulse has partnered with I can't remember the name of the company. But it's Home Care Pulse now, but they have partnered with In the Know. It's called a company. It's a small company called In the Know. I liked them when they were in the know. Now they kind of bougie, but it's called In the Know. No, no, no. It's called Home Care Pulse, but they partner with In the Know, and that's where we our caregivers get training. And you say, "Why? What's so important about caregiver training?" Like people feel better about things that they know more about. Like people are more excited to talk about things or do things that they know about. If I'm educated about a thing, I feel good about it. I want to do it. I want to show that what I've learned is I want to I want to do it. I learned something. I want to do the thing that I learned. So um you take a caregiver who has just the regular. They might have they might be med tech certified. They might have their CNA, all their basic stuff, and then they get a dementia or Parkinson's or diabetes or some kind of other dietary certification. They feel good about that. And then not only that, they can add value to your company. You can put that in their jacket, like in their folder, and when you present them to a family, they get first dibs on the Parkinson clients, right? They get first dibs on the dementia clients because they are the one who has the training, that extra layer of training. And you can demand more money because you're not only just sending a normal caregiver, a regular caregiver over there, you're sending a caregiver who's certified and trained with an extra level of training, an extra layer of training for this particular illness that your family's struggling with. That's value. That's value for you. That's value for the family. That's value for everybody in the conversation. So that continued education is very important and it's very helpful. So we definitely want to consider continued education. And then I don't want to get too, we already dealt with empathy, right? Empathy is just empathizing with, their situation. What's going on? How can we help? How can we make it better for you to participate or, be on the job? Brian, how you doing, bud?
Oh, find yourself, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna unmute you, but could be like in the middle of it. I just wanted to greet you.
Okay.
So we just definitely want to empathize and listen and make ourselves available and don't have an environment where they feel like they can't talk to you. It's how you have to have those lines of communications open, especially now. Especially now. I've been struggling keeping caregivers. Like it's like almost impossible. But I'm just wondering, like, what are they doing? But I know, like I know what they're doing. Like, they're getting on different social programs and stuff like that, social services. But it's like, and I used to be judgmental, but now I empathize because that's like, you're tired. You're tired. You know what I mean? You're exhausted. And I'm not going to sit here and judge you from my couch while you out here busting your hump through the weather and I'm not. So I got to empathize with that. I'm not saying I won't work like that or I don't have the capacity to get it in. I have grit too. But I'm not doing what you're doing. I don't experience your life. So I have to make sure that I am empathetic to your reality and not be so quick to write them off. I need a break. Or do you need a break? Would you like a few weeks off? I might can't pay you much, but I'm not gonna fire you. You know what I mean? Most companies are just fire you. They'll just get rid of you. So empathizing in that situation, you would be like not giving up on them. Not just giving up on them because they couldn't get to work or they just going through something. That's the empathetic part. I don't have my notes to like remember what the do's and don'ts are right at this very moment, so I'm not even gonna go into that. I need to and it's like a lot of people coming. I wasn't expecting this. Um, but that's a good thing, right? So caregiver retention, the do's and don'ts. So I think a lot of things, what I think about that, I think what I was thinking about was just like getting too personal. You don't want to get too personal. You don't want to, get in somebody's, because you'll get emotional and you'll start like making bad judgment calls. Because you got to remember, if the ship goes down, everybody's going to lose. So you have to keep the business afloat. You can't get so emotional, so tied into one person's reality or one person's struggle that you're going to jeopardize your whole company. And some people are like that. Like some people really care so much that they will, you know, like jeopardize themselves. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to still remember that you're in this for business, for to make money. Because if you're not making money, you're not doing home care anymore. And if you're not doing home care anymore, you're not helping anybody. So you have to make money. And the guys always say, no profit, no purpose. You got to remember that. No profit, no purpose. So if you're not making money, whatever you feel like your purpose is, it's not gonna get. It's just not gonna happen. Welcome to America. Um, solve employee problems before they start. You have to be real perceptive. You wanna and you have to be a good listener. I never put a like this is one thing that people never really understood. I'm like I have like these gifts. I have like these weird gifts, and one of them is I don't want to sound crazy, but it's not like I can see to the future. I just have really good deductive reasoning. Like I could take the backstory and kind of go 6 months out and just have like a real clear picture of like exactly what's going to happen before you even realize it. And you're the one that's going to do it. And I'm saying like caregivers will say, "Oh, I can do this position." Da 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 da. I love it. I love the family, but it's 30 minutes away from you, and you don't have a vehicle. Oh, I got Uber. I got a bus transportation. You're not gonna get the work on time. You see what I'm saying? And I know you want this position. I know you do. But I just can't put you in that situation. I can't put you in that situation because I know it's going to break down before, a lot sooner than what you realize. And when I go against that thinking, I always pay for it. And I like, okay, go, let's give it a shot. And you can give it a shot. You can give it a test run. But the thing is, the families don't want to hear that. When you bring somebody in their house, like because the families are getting exhausted because we bring in too many caregivers. The families are getting exhausted hold on. Man, I've been getting a lot of my devices are being like trying to be like intense. I'll be having to do all these security checks just randomly. Um, the families are getting exhausted because we're bringing so many caregivers to train. This girl didn't work. This girl didn't work. This girl didn't work. To whereas now they like, don't bring no more. Like, are you kidding me? So we have to figure it out. We have office staff going to families' homes because they like, I don't want to see another new face. You know what I mean? That's serious. Like, and he know he got that leverage because he know how much money he pay a week. And he know I'm not going to jeopardize that because no profit, no purpose. So we're not sending no more care. So I'm gonna give him time. He'll soften up, and we'll say, hey, look, can we try again? Maybe in a few weeks. We have somebody really gracious. Da, 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 da. And it's just, you have to be a forward thinker. You have to be able to look out into this thing and say, this is going to be a great fit. This might not be a great fit. Personalities can become a problem. A talkative caregiver in a quiet home, it might not work. As bad as she wants that case, they don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? But they don't want to see you on your phone all day. So you got to start solving these problems so we got a zero tolerance phone policy. You got to leave your phone in your car. You know what I mean? Or because most families, I'm gonna say 90%. So like 2 years ago, we gotta thank Amazon for this. About 2 or 3 years ago, it was like 60% of families had cameras in their house. 90% of them got it. They watching you the whole time. You on TV. You're like, you famous. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting emails from family members who aren't even like, they're just like out the blue. Like, who is this? Oh, I'm watching the camera and she been in the bathroom. I'm, you know what I mean? Like, what am I, like, you're famous. Get used to it. You know what I mean? They're watching. So you have to like make adjustments as soon as possible. When you hear this stuff, you gotta move on it. And you gotta make like company-wide changes quick because things are gonna come up like that. So yeah, that's that. So just to kind of update everyone, Brian and Fatima, we're doing you could hop on and unmute yourself, introduce yourself if you like. We're doing caregiver recruitment tonight.
Okay. I am so glad that I have a clear mind and a clear heart and a clear time because I'm on vacation right now from my own personal client. But a lot of the things that you were just sharing, I just want to speak to maybe one or two of them, if that's okay. Um, I had put a disclaimer in place for my company because like one of my clients had fallen, didn't hurt herself basically, but just fell. And I didn't have the what you call that insurance? What is it called? Workers' comp. You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So when I realized, because I had let my workers' comp go because I didn't have 5 employees, and I was like, why am I paying these people every 3 months $400, $500? Man, I was like, so because I called each one of my employees and I asked them, do they have their own health care coverage? And when they said yes, I said, well, because of me not having it right now, the workers' comp, would you be comfortable to sign a waiver, like a disclaimer or a waiver, whatever you want to call it, saying that in the event that you ever, Lord forbid, get injured on the job, that you will not come after my company? And they all agreed. I just felt the need to do that, Eventually, I will get the workers' comp again, but right now, when I didn't have it and this person fell, I was like, So that was major for me, and I am with Home Care Pulse, and I am getting ready to get on their training after I get off this call. I want all my caregivers to be dementia certified. That's very vital, especially in the time that we're living in, and the increase in that health condition. It's very serious. Um, Let me see what else. I don't know. So yeah, I'll stop there if somebody else wants to say something or jump in and talk. I mean, I have a lot to say, but
Thank you.
yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Hello, how's it going, everyone? My name is Brian Holmes. I'm an Army veteran. Just relocated from Chicago to the Montgomery, Alabama area, and have a three-bedroom house that I'm looking to convert into a four-bedroom house. And Alan, as I talked to you and you was telling me about the training, I got so excited. I reached back out to the social worker at the VA, got in touch with her. Actually, did she get my emails? And she said she got her emails. She's just been busy, but she's gonna come out next week and look at my house and tell me everything I need to do so I can get ready to start getting veterans to come in. I'm excited.
Nice, man. I'm super excited about that, bro. I'm glad you hopped in. Oh, I did. So when you would text me earlier, I gotta apologize. I didn't remember the conversation we had, and then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, that's the brother who said he was trying to get on. You know what I mean? So that's why I sent you
Figured
the
that.
Zoom link. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, my
yeah.
fault about that. Hey, Fred, is
That's
that you,
fine.
Fred? What's going on, brother? You know I ain't gonna leave you hanging. I ain't gonna let you just sit there quiet, bro. If that's you, I don't know if that's my homeboy Freddie. If he on there,
How
but
we
it's
doing? How
cool.
we doing?
What up, bro? You good?
I'm good. I'm good. You?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, man.
I tried to catch it early, man, but I was at work and but hopefully I can see it on replay or something like that.
Oh, definitely. We're
Toward
recording.
the end of it, yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, bro. So, just continuing on the whole idea of this caregiver appreciation, celebrating the caregivers, caregiver retention. Communication is everything. You gotta be communicating with these people, man. You gotta communicate. I feel like even in like my personal life, if the communication is breaking down, if we're not communicating on a consistent basis, it's like your mind starts creating these false realities, and you start thinking that other people thinking and everybody's thinking, but it's not really happening. It's just this is no communication. So you have to keep the lines of communication open, and you have to not only keep the lines of communication, you got to know how to communicate. Like as a owner of a business, it's not as simple as just talking to friends and family. You have to know how to talk to people. And you have to know how to talk to your staff because you got to keep them encouraged, you got to keep them excited, you got to keep them engaged. And that's not always easy, and it doesn't come naturally. Like sometimes like people think that businesses come naturally, and it doesn't. It's a learned skill, and people who do take it like it's a learned skill and they get the training, they do well. So, for example, you always sandwich the negative. Like, what does that mean? I'm sure Brian understands that. That's the price of military action. I don't know, but I read it in sales. I mean, in management. Sandwiching the negative is, this caregiver is like on their phone all day, right? And you keep telling them no, like, hey, look, like we on the red line, like you about to get fired if you do this stuff again, right? But you can't go in there saying that. You have to sandwich the negative. How do you sandwich the negative? This is one example. And I'm gonna tell you the book that's gonna tell you like all of this stuff. Hey man, you've been getting work on time. The family really appreciates that. Uh, the mom is, she's been getting all of her medicine. Everything's been going great with the care. But listen, man, this stuff with the phone is getting out of hand. We really got to address this. If there's some issues at home, can we get it done and squared away before our shift starts? You know what I mean? Can we like get some of these text messages and emails off because I know it ain't none of that. Can we post all our Facebook stuff and do all our Snapchats before we get to work? And then, that's the sandwich. Then, Bud, listen, bro, you're doing a great job. I want you to keep up the good work. Stay on it. Keep getting to work. You know what I mean? Keep coming in on time. That's how you sandwich the negative. You know what I mean? And the person doesn't walk away feeling like you just beat them up. You know what I mean? That's what you don't want to do. You don't want to make them feel like you just beat them up. And you know how people say, "I'm gonna catch you doing something wrong." Just another thing. You're gonna catch them. You want to catch them doing something right. Say, look, I want to catch you doing something right. So I might pop in, because I want to catch you doing something right. You know what I mean? And it's like you change um the whole like environment just with like simple wordplay and the way people think about the way you think about things and the way things are being thought about. Specifically, in management. I didn't even know my camera was off. But it's a book called The 5 Minute Manager. Have y'all guys read that? Oh, it's the 1 Minute Manager? I think it's the 1 Minute Manager. Because the 1 minute sounds stupid, but I think it's the 1 Minute Manager. Has nobody read that? And I thought these were like my book. I thought this was like my book club.
Well, I'm reading Contagious right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's contagious. Like change. That's like one of those. Like I have books that like change my life. You know what I mean? They one book that just changed like the total trajectory of like my thinking, and that's one of them. So the 1 Minute Manager. I even wrote like some great notes. I'm gonna post them in the thing. I should do it now if I forget. But I wrote some great notes on how to. I took all the strategies and ideas. I'm just tooting my own horn right now, but I took all the strategies and ideas from the 1 Minute Manager and put them in like home care terms, so I could like use it in the company, and then also have my staff be able to use it. You know what I mean? So I won't have to tell them. Could you tell your staff to go read this book, go read this thing? I ain't read that shit. You know what I mean? But listen, these notes here, you have to understand this. So when you're talking to people in the management perspective, you better understand what we're doing here to get people to do the things that we need them to get done in a healthy, productive, and creative way. So yeah, that's it. Celebrating your staff, that's simple. Birthdays, holidays, random days, you know what I mean? Just, employee of the month, um, encouraging them to, giving them like a little bonus for employee of the month, a little celebration the best way we can. Things have got so weird since we can't meet and stuff like that, like Zoom. But Zoom allows us to do these things. We could do a Zoom party. I've legit been on like 3 Zoom birthday parties, and they were not like trash. You know what I mean? Like I've been on that. So you can do it. Like if we use our technology and we can celebrate our staff. We can find, creative ways to do this stuff and make it work. So and then support their goals. I want to know your goals. You guys know me. I mean, you guys know what I do, right? You know that I'm going to uplift and empower. That's my, that's how I, that's my redemption. That's how I make up for my mistakes by giving people, by empowering other people and helping other people reach their goals. So even if you work for me, even if I need you, and I love the money that you help bring in. If you want to go to another level, within the home care serve in the business, outside of it, I'm going to do the best I can within reason of making my company still be, valuable to help you do that. And a lot of them want to stick in the industry. A lot of caregivers want to be nurses, right? So we create opportunities and help them find pathways to get it done. Assisted living managers. That's something in Maryland that assisted living manager can make 60,000 a year. You can go, and I mean a lot of the facilities won't hire you unless you have a degree. But if you have that deep experience and we get behind you, and you have a strong support group, we can get you in there. You might don't come in at the highest pay scale, but you're gonna make more than what you're making as a caregiver. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be learning a lot. And you could come in as a part-time or just like a lesser until you work your way up. If this is what you want to do. And because we're in those businesses, we can move you around in different things that we have. And then I have partnerships now. I'm working with multiple facilities multiple operators for staffing, placement, marketing, this, and I can just like, hey, they need somebody over here. You turning up, you killing it. I love it. Let's think about you doing this, get this skill, get this training, and put you over here. I'm all for that. I'm all for that because they're gonna appreciate that. They're gonna grow from that. And then guess what? You're gonna be the guy to help. You know what I'm saying? I just like being the guy to help. So just do anybody have any questions or comments at this point? Feel free to unmute your mic and let's talk it out.
I am currently organizing a caregiver appreciation luncheon / event for my caregivers because they do show up and they do a 5-star job, and I do appreciate that, and I do want them, and I'll of course present, have a nice meal there and have a nice venue, and give maybe a gift card or gift bag or just something really nice that to show my appreciation. I am in the process of looking at a date for that as we speak.
Yeah. Hey everybody. For those that I just met, I'm in South Carolina and I'm a search tech and I travel. So I work for a company called Aya. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but what I like about my recruiter, my agency, whatever, they always do like some random stuff that we just don't expect. Like I don't even know where the company is located. I think they're in California somewhere, but like for my birthday, they send me a gift card to go get pizza. And it was like an e gift card. So I had pizza. And then like a couple of weeks ago, I just got an email asking me about my size. They sent me like I think it's called figs, like really good quality. They sent me like figs scrubs in the mail. And then just randomly, my recruiter always just calls me. Like the other day, he's called me. I'm like, am I getting fired? Like, what's wrong? And he's like, no, I'm just calling just to see how you are. And I'm like,
I love it. I love it.
I said, you freaked me out because when I see your name, I thought maybe like I'm getting fired. My contract is getting ended. But he will just call me like, just, how you doing? How's your family doing? How are your kids? Do you need anything from me?
Yes,
And
that's
I'd be
it.
like,
They know what they're doing, man.
I'd be like, no, I'm good. And he's like, and I like it because he communicates a lot. Like when he's out of the office, he'll be like, hey, just FYI, if anything happens, I'll be out of the office. If you need to reach anybody, here's a point of contact. Like he is so open, he is so on point. And I love the random free gift gestures that just randomly come in the mail. So what I wanted to say is that the point is that the stuff doesn't have to be fancy. The stuff doesn't have to be expensive.
It's the thought.
We will accept anything. And I like it because I know he's got my back, and I really want our caregivers to know that we have their backs. I think for me, with working for my agency, that has been the most biggest thing of them all, because when you put the money aside, everything aside, you need to know that your employer has your back. Because yes, I am from Africa. Yes, I do have an accent. I have had a lot of, and I'm a traveler. When you're a traveler, you come into these facilities, you're like the odd one out. I've had a lot of problems where I've been discriminated upon because I'm from a different country and I have an accent. And he has just been like one phone call away. He's been like, we are not sending you into these facilities for you to be unhappy. Give me their names. And he is like on top of it. So I just really wanted to say that the most important thing, our caregivers need to know that we have their backs, guys. And I can totally say this from like personal experience. We have to have their backs. They need to be comfortable that they can report anything to us and we will do something about it, because I've walked into these facilities and I've been treated real bad, and my company's been like, we're on it. So
that's awesome.
share that with you guys.
That's so awesome. And so when I hear that stuff, it's like confirmation that I mean, because you don't always see what everybody else is doing, right? So when I hear that, it's like, damn, I knew I was up to something. You know what I mean? Or like that's like I'm not saying like we doing it like that, but I'm just saying like that's the idea. You know what I mean? That's the idea. And I want you to also, when it's happening to you and the way you feel, remember how you felt. And they'll know that when you do that to your caregivers, they're gonna feel that same way. So do it to them as well. Make them feel that same level of appreciation. That's what it's about. And you said it's not about money. This is not about money. And another thing that I guess I didn't say about the communication was we will get on the phone and they will start talking about other things that's really going on in their lives that they really don't have anyone else to talk to about. So you become a very important person if you just listen. I ain't say don't start giving no therapy advice like thinking you know everything. You know what I mean? But just listening and I understand is enough. And that's important, man. And I think that's what he doing. He understands the mental stress and the mental strain of going to these places because you're not the first one. You're not the first sister from Africa that's been on assignment for him. And he knows the stress that comes along with it. He knows the discrimination is there. And he knows the fire he's putting you in. And he's making sure that he has a good read on your mental health. And he's just letting you know you have someone. You're not alone in this thing. That's important, man. That's important. That's a powerful, powerful thing that it's like a nuanced thing that is almost you can't. I mean, if you like really good at data, you could probably quantify it somewhere and see how it like benefits the. And I'm sure you can, right? When we had it, when we didn't do it, this is what the ROI was. When we started this, it went up. You know what I mean? When they started, the turnover rate went down. He's managing turnover. Now I'm all in his business, right? I'm trying to figure it out. But he's managing turnover. He doesn't want you to quit. So he wants to make sure you're okay. And we're doing the same thing. So awesome. We basically covered all this stuff. Pay leave, all that stuff. Employee of the month. We talked about all that. So, and we're already past 7. We had like a 20-minute conversation before we got started. So I'm kind of brushing through this, breezing through it. These are some of just the continuing education things, the state, wherever, you got like state required training, like the CNAs, stuff like that. And like in Maryland, you got to have med tech for certain positions. So you got this, then you got the specialty trainings, what we were talking about with the in the know and the in the know and the home care pulse merge. They have the specialty training, and then you make it mandatory, and you do that from day one. If I feel like if I would have did much better off if I made it mandatory from the beginning instead of trying to make it mandatory later. Because people are like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean I'm not gonna get my check until I do an hour of training? But if you say that on the on the interview, it's no misconception, it's no misunderstanding. So making it mandatory, making that training mandatory, so it strengthens your staff, it strengthens your it gives you the ability to add more value to each family, and it just makes you a stronger company. Education is power, right? And it's usually about $100 per 10 clients, so it's really inexpensive on a monthly basis. So if you have, 10 caregivers. So if you have 10 caregivers, they could be hopping on training once a month. Once a week for $10. They can hop on it as much as many times they want a month. But you can make it mandatory for uh an hour a pay period or 2 hours of pay period, like an hour a week, something like that. Whatever you feel like is reasonable. Like I'm not gonna tell you like exactly how to do these things, but I'm just giving you some ideas. Oh, here we go to do's and don'ts that I forgot. Um, Set goals with your caregivers, catch them doing something right, sandwich the negative. Look, document everything good and bad, birthday cards, holiday, Christmas cards, create a support system, team, mindset and mentorship. Mentorship, that's the thing that probably you don't understand, won't understand about what is the mentorship in the home care service. It's pairing the new caregivers or the new caregivers that are just new to the company or just new to the business who have the least experience with the ones that have the most experience. And not obviously they can't be in the same house with them all the time, or if they can, it'd be like very frequent. I mean, very, very infrequent, but they can call them. And then you can, you can incentivize the mentor to contact the mentee. Like, if you call her, a few times a week, we can give you an extra bonus, just to check in on her, make sure her shift, went well, kind of check on her, like call to make sure she's gonna be in on time, stuff like that. So you kind of like putting some office tags on these more seasoned caregivers and pairing them with, because you want the good caregivers to rub off on the new caregivers, right? So you want to make sure they know each other. They communicate. These are their text friends. These are people that, hey man, Mr. Johnson was bugging yesterday. You know what I'm saying? You want them to have these conversations. So, like, oh, and then when this happens, you should think about doing this, or maybe you want to do that. You want them to be able to, or this agency here with Alan, he gonna do it like this. I don't know how y'all did it over there, but this is how he gonna want y'all to do it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the mentorship looks like. It's nothing like extravagant or too complicated or complex. So these are the don'ts. Don't hire friends and family. If you do, you're going you cooked. Like, I'm not saying that just because I probably got toxic relationships with my family members. It's just hard, man. It's hard, man. And I'm gonna tell you, like, my sister, she got like one of my most highest paying clients ever. She closed it because she like did customer service. And go in the room, bro. Are you crazy? You can't play with the dog right behind me, man. She got one of my most high paying clients, and I can never knock that. But we argue like cats and dogs. We argue like cats and dogs. You know what I mean? Because I had it. I'm her little brother. She working for her little brother. I can't tell her nothing. She run the whole office. I'm like, yo, you can't do this. Boy, shut up. Can you imagine your sister telling you, boy, shut up in front of all your staff? You know what I mean? And they like what? Like, who was that? Oh, that's his sister. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's funny, but she had to go. You know what I mean? But don't hire friends. Don't get too personal. Because you gotta have those professional boundaries. And you want to make sure they don't get too personal. Because you gotta keep those boundaries up. Because when it's time to and it's sad to say, if you gotta fire them, you don't want to be making a bad judgment because you like them, because they cool. You gotta be all business. But there's ways to do both, right? You could be professional and you could be empathetic, and don't break your own rules. If you say don't do this, we're not doing that, we're not doing this, then don't do that. And you don't do it, and they shouldn't do it. You can't say one thing. You can't be a hypocrite in your company. And then it's just gonna break down. The culture gonna break down. You have to stand on what you say. Don't play with the money. My first situation when I first got started, I started with my ex. She's my now ex-wife. I started she got me in the home care business. Hands down, she did it. I never heard of home care until I met her. Um, we played with the money, but we was making money we never seen before. And you feel like we just made, we made $4,000 last week. Payroll next week. We gotta hurry up and make it back. We gonna go to Miami real quick. We gonna figure it out. That week you might make 1,000, and you like, I blew the bag. I'm dead. I owe all these caregivers. You know what I'm saying? That's a thing. You know what I mean? Like if you don't know no better. I was a lot younger, obviously. Um, and I was just a lot more immature and just didn't really appreciate what I was getting myself into. Not the way I do now. So you never wanna play with people's money. And not only goes for that, but it also goes for like taxes, budgeting, rolling your money back into your company. You're not take Do not quit your day job. That's not your money. That's not your money. That company has that LLC has a social security number. Look at that, like that's a person. That's his money. That money got to go back into the company. All profit has to be rolled back into that company. First, for as many years, I ain't talking months, weeks, as many years as you can. You got to roll it back in there. And the first thing that I'm going to really focus on if I could look back now, is human resources. Just paying people, hiring people. Because people it's people, right? Not marketing, not strategy, not software, not bots, not whatever they trying to sell you, ads. Um, People. You want to pay people to run your business. Um, and I'm big on delegating. I'm like the poster boy for the 4-hour work week. I'm big on that. Um, because I don't mind paying people. I'll take a lifestyle decline to pay you to make sure it's gonna get done right, right? I'm okay with that. I got a monthly nut for my lifestyle. And everything after that, you know what I mean? I don't mind giving it to somebody to do a great job for my company. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I have like a legion of virtual assistants. And and that's another thing. I just like bossing people around, I guess, because I got a lot of people I boss around. And but I don't mind paying people. So that's another thing about playing with the money. And don't overlook the clear signs. The clear signs of whatever it is. Your partner might be weird, taking money, doing dumb stuff. Caregivers might be doing dumb stuff. And don't be scared to fire a client. I love firing clients because it's like empowering. A client, they feel like they got you and they can do anything and say anything. And you need me, I don't need you. Wrong. If you're not treating my caregivers right, so I just had a really big thing in past, and I don't want to say the city or the family. Obviously I can say nobody's name, but they were like, Trumpsters. And they found out who owned the company. You know what I mean? And I'm not like, I don't hide that I own it, but I don't be like out there with no flag, like in front of people's houses, like, hey, I'm the brother who owned the company that's taking care of your mom. Nah, I don't be doing that. So um they found out I own the company and they got like weird. They wanted us out of there. You know what I mean? Because it was a Trump community. And I mean, I don't know if we can say how how y'all feel about me saying that. But we don't want to get that Negro our money. We rather let mom die. So you can't be like, you can't sell your soul. You know what I mean? Like if we're not being treated right, because it didn't start like that. It didn't start like that. It started with the caregiver going from um, very pleasant experience. I think she was even a living. She was living in there with these people. And I'm not gonna say these people are in that way, these mean people. She was living in there. And it was going really good. And it's like something happened. And she says, just something happened. And the way they treated her, the way they talked to her, the way that, and she called crying. Can you imagine a woman 50 years old calling from work crying? They're being so mean to me, I don't know what I did. You leave now. I don't care what's going on. They want to do that, you leave now. You getting paid, get out of there. So don't be scared to fire a client. If they push your caregivers, and they do things that aren't, agreed upon, and they try to turn them into housekeepers, turn them into dog walkers, turn them into landscapers, turn them into repairmen, women, they'll just have you doing all kind of stuff, and if you don't nip that stuff in the bud early on, it could backfire. Because a bad situation can turn into a horrible situation. And I'd rather get out of a bad situation than be trying to figure out how to get out of a lawsuit situation. Because that's always what I'm worried about. Or a horrible review situation on Google. So that's what we're thinking about. Hopefully that makes some sense to you guys, and I didn't ruffle any feathers. Do we have any questions?
No, I did want to pretty much add to what you were saying about the caregivers in regards to showing them that you care about them. My sister has a daycare business in Chicago, and she was talking about her new employees coming on. She want to let them know outside of their schedule, she's going to be able to accommodate whatever vacation days they may need to do certain things ahead of time. They just need to give her an advance notice, and she's going to be able to make it happen for them. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And that's how, and I mean, I'm taking stuff from everywhere. I'm a sponge. Like, I'm listening to what she said, the guy calling her, I'm taking that in, bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta figure out, like, what can we do better to implement that better, right? So this is the book of the week. I thought I had the 1 minute manager here, but I guess we got the this book here for the week. What's going on? Let's see what's going on. Man, we freezing. Oh, we good. Solving boy problems before they start. Resolving conflicts in the real world. Solving boy problems before they start. Resolving conflict with compassion, clarity, and conviction, and a dash of comedy for good measure. Popular speaker and employment law attorney Scott Warwick distills conflict resolution, suggests 3 simple moves: empathetic listening, parroting, and rewards. Great book. Also get the 1 minute man. I think it's the 1 minute manager. I think it's the 1 minute man. Let me Google this stuff. Make sure it's either 1 minute or 5 minutes. But I think it's a 1 minute. And I got the notes, and I'm gonna put the notes in the chat so you guys can see my notes. I try to take a lot of good notes on all these books that I read. And just a quick side note on the importance of reading books, since I got all y'all here. The average employee reads 2 books a year. The average Fortune 500 CEO reads 60. That's all I'm gonna say. Read more books. The 1 minute manager. It gotta be the 5 minute manager. It can't be the 5 minute manager. That don't even sound right. So I'm gonna hop off of here. Do we have any more questions? Closing thoughts. This was a great thing, man. I really appreciate the amount of people that hopped on today, because it gets me more charged up. Like, I got some people to talk to, and some good feedback and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that.
It was nice meeting everybody, because it's just usually me and Tiffany. So welcome everybody. Welcome.
Same here. I came in late. I'll be on time next time. And Alan, I saw on Facebook you was talking about collaboration. So I have to probably watch the beginning of this video and probably get more about collaboration, right?
When was it? I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Mr. Allen recommended for us to
1 minute manager.
He recommended for us to go out in the community and kind of like get involved. So that's where I kind of like got the idea from. So I made an effort to look up the Chamber of Commerce in in my city, in my town. And I also looked up like a couple of entrepreneur minority groups. So I actually came about and I joined I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. So I joined the Charleston Home Care Business Group. And it's like all Black owned home care business owners in my area. So I got in that group and I introduced
Wow,
myself, and
that's dope.
I kind of like took, I took Mr. Allen's advice in regards to getting out there and joining a lot of business oriented groups in the area. So that's how I kind of like, met up with this nurse that I'm gonna go ahead and share her office space. I mean, I don't know about your state, but my state is so regulated. It's
Oh, Brian don't got no regulations down there.
why am I the only one? This is not fair.
No, North Carolina is highly regulated too. I used to live in South Carolina I used to live in Columbia, South Carolina for 10 years before I moved to North Carolina.
Okay, I work at my current assignment at Richland Hospital in Columbia.
Okay, I used to work there, Baptist. It used to be Baptist. Is it still Baptist?
I did an assignment at Baptist Park Ridge.
And I used to work at Providence Hospital, the heart.
Yes.
I worked there for 10 years. Yeah.
That's where I am. That's where my current assignment is.
Yeah.
But I just got into that group, and I introduced myself, and I met up with another young lady. She's a little bit further on, so I invited her to take her out for lunch next week. So I'm just trying to get out there because the rules and regulations, it's a lot, and I just feel like I just want to, I can read it and I can think like I'm comprehending it, but when you sit down and share a meal with somebody who's been through this process, I just feel like it's easier. So that's where I am.
It uplifts you. It uplifts you.
Yeah, they seem to be very nice. It's a very nice group, and I love the point that it's all minority.
Okay.
Owners just coming together. I like that part. So
nice.
I wish you were still in North Carolina.
Yeah. So I'm doing okay over here. I just landed my first 24-hour, 7-day-a-week client. So that's been very awesome. Awesome. So I have wonderful caregivers that I don't have problems retaining. I'm just wanting to grow to, the $100,000 a month.
Where did you find? Where do
we
you
have the so we can do the chat. There we have a new feature on the chat in the group. So let's we can move this over to the chat because I gotta hop off of here.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a feature on the chat. So go to the cohort group, and then you'll see like the chat. Push the button, and I pushed the link in here. I think some people found it there, and then you can talk in there as well. So it's a new feature Facebook just added. So I'm gonna hop off here. Y'all guys have a good night. Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.